What is good, YouTube? It is your boy Sam, and I am back with another YouTube video. Okay, I'm very excited to bring this to you guys. Right, I didn't even really do any mic checks or camera checks, anything like that. But as you can see, I am actually in frame now, as opposed to last time. You guys are probably gonna laugh at this, but last time I was just using the back camera, just trying to figure out how to go back and forth between my monitors and myself. And this time I decided I'm gonna stop being an old man and use the features that I have in order to bring you guys this amazing content. Okay, so in today's video, we will be discussing the technical analysis. I'm sure you guys watched my last video. If you guys didn't, make sure you go check that out. It was an hour-long video. This video is not going to be so long. However, we are going to make sure that we took what we learned from the last video. We're going to actually apply in this video. So we're not really going to go too much into detail and basically figure out what moves we're going to make next week. So as of now, it is the 11th of July, and it is a beautiful Saturday. As you can see, the sun is still out. Usually I wait till the end of the day to make my videos just because I'm usually running around, running errands, getting things done. But you guys were on my mind from the very beginning, as soon as I hopped out of that bed. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to go look up some stocks, do a technical analysis of what we think is going to happen. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a follow-up video to see if what we predicted actually happened. Okay. Now, I have a couple stocks in mind. However, we're just gonna look it up. We'll look up some random stocks, right? So if you remember what I did last time, I went on Yahoo Finance and I went to stocks. Don't worry, let me flip the screen here for you guys so you guys can see what I'm looking at. Okay. Flip my camera. Beautiful. All right, go to Yahoo Finance. You go to markets, you go to stocks. Last time we looked at large cap. We're going to do that again this time. I just like trading blue chip companies, and large cap are usually the companies that are blue chip companies, right? Okay, so we can look at NVIDIA, right? It's number one on the list. So what I do now is I go on Robinhood Legend, and I'll pan over to my other screen here in a second. Let me just enlarge that. We're going to take the symbol, which is NVDA. So as you can see, I have it all pulled up right here. Okay. I think we looked at this on the last video, actually. But if we did, this is great because it did exactly what we thought it was going to do. So we actually don't need to do a technical analysis because, as you can see, the lines that I drew here from the last video, and that was probably over 2-3 weeks ago, it's starting to pan out and play out with the drawings that we made. Okay. So let's look at some stock flags. I already have the tab open. Beautiful. Okay, let's try to identify what it is we're looking at. So as I could see here, I see some parallel lines here, kind of like a ramp. It's traded within that ramp, okay, in a downward trajectory. So it's essentially creating lower highs. These are the highs and lower lows. However, I predicted that it was still going to squeeze up, and it hasn't reached that point yet. But as you can see, this pattern broke a little bit, and instead of going down, it's starting to come up a little bit. And so let's see if I can find anything similar to that. Does it look like the bullish flag pattern, you think? I think so. I think so because all of these other ones, they're wedges. So as you can see, the lines come together into a wedge and it squeezes out of there. But that's not what's happening, right? We've seen that it created higher highs as well as, lower highs as well as lower lows. So in that downward trajectory, but like I predicted, I think it was going to squeeze up. And so looking at this chart here, right, that is what appears is happening here. So if I had to make some plays, I would do a call option predicting that the stock is going to go up. I'll choose a strike price right around where it's at now because I don't foresee this coming down anymore. And granted, it can, but we're trying to capitalize off of the upward trend. So I'll pick something around here. I think that's pretty safe. And then make a prediction on what I think is going to reach in an appropriate time frame. So we have July 16 coming up here. So where do we think it's going to be at July 16? I'll probably push out for something further than this because like I said, we made this technical analysis 2-3 weeks ago and it still hasn't played out yet. So just keep in mind the dates at the bottom here and how much time is left before it plays out what you predict it's going to do. Okay, now that was pretty short. I don't want to keep this video too boring. So I'm going to put this camera down right here and we're going to look at something else. So I go back to Yahoo Finance. Let you guys see what I'm looking at. I'm trying to figure out which one to pick. Okay, we got Tesla. We got Micron Technology. We have AMD. Let's do AMD. AMD looks pretty solid. Okay, and I'm just saying that because everything here looks like it's trading sideways based off of this mini chart that I'm seeing here. But AMD, I kind of see it like going up a little bit. And if you don't see what I'm looking at right here, as you can see, it's a little upward trajectory. So we're going to take this symbol and we're going to go back to our good old Robinhood legend here. We're going to write AMD. I'm sorry, super close to my face. Keeping myself in frame this time, at least trying to. Beautiful. This is what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is AMD. I did not do a technical analysis on this before, which means this is a perfect time for us to draw some lines. Now, I told you guys before, I love the candlestick charts. So this is a candlestick chart that we're looking at. It looks like the interval is 4 hours, which is great. However, all of this may not necessarily be relevant. It's good to take a look at what it's been doing before, right? Not to contradict myself, but we want to make sure our technical analysis is appropriate for the applicable time frame. So what we're going to do is, I'm just going to play around with this a bit. 3-month chart looks good. Okay, your chart is a little much. All right, so we're going to stick with the 3-month chart. I might zoom out a little bit. So if I do zoom out, let me change the 3-month chart. 3-month chart, 4 hours. That has changed. Okay, so if I do zoom out a little bit, it is going to capture further out than 3 months, but I'm just trying to get my drawing right. Okay. Okay, beautiful. Let's start drawing lines now. So we take our little trend line. I'm going to start right here. That's just because that is the first high peak that I pretty much see. We're going to draw that across here. And being that this is a horizontal line, we want to keep it as horizontal as possible. Okay, I'm pretty satisfied with that. I'll draw our next line here. And just so we could make another video pretty soon here, I am probably going to zoom in a whole lot more to do another technical analysis, just so that when next week comes, we can actually go off of what we drew out. Because just looking back, right? Looking back at 3 months, we're not going to see too much of what it's going to do next week. We'll just have a better idea of the trajectory of this company long term, but not short term enough to make any moves. So there seems to be a lot of sideways trading here, right? So as you can see, I drew my lines. I want to draw another one here, but if I do, it's just going to run into all of this stuff we got going on here. So let me zoom in. You know what? Let's look at the 1 month chart. Okay, so now we're a little bit more zoomed in. I think this is a little bit more appropriate. So my lines are still there from before. I'm going to make this orange just so we know what we're looking at. Okay, so I see 2 lows right here, right? So it's creating lower lows, meaning the next low was lower than the previous low. But I still see a clean ramp. And even though this candlestick is not red, I'm going to treat it as a low as well. Look at that. Look how clean and beautiful that looks. Looks amazing. Okay, we're going to do the same thing for the lower highs. Look at that. That's beauty right there. Uh-oh. Spoke too soon. All right, and then we're going to clean this up a bit. I'm just going to, I think it's pretty clear, right? But just to get in the habit of drawing, and it's not necessary, but I'm just going to draw some more trend lines here. This is art, ladies and gentlemen. This is art. All right. Came up here. Okay, so before we continue to draw lines, what is happening here? Or what do we think is going to happen here? Okay, I'm not really sure. Based off of this, it looks like it broke the pattern, so it came out of that ramp. And it looks like it wants to shoot up. But instead of guessing, what are we going to do? We're going to go back to Google and look at our stock flags. Okay. Looks like we're also looking at a bullish flag pattern. That's exactly what we're looking at. So pretty much what we were looking at in the beginning of the video. It kind of threw me off a little bit. So I apologize for that, but yes. So what does this mean? You guessed it. Okay, this thing is projected to go all the way up. And this looks clear as day, actually. So I'm asking questions as if I don't know what's going to happen. That's the whole point. As a viewer, you should be confused coming into this. Or you might be confused coming into this. And the point is to provide clarity and give you an expert level, perspective of what is to happen so you can trade confidently in the coming week. So let's write this down. I want to write this down. On July 11th, okay, it is Saturday. Markets are not moving right now. So it's pretty much the same price it was on Friday when it closed. The price was 55990. Okay, 55990. So we're going to take this information. We're going to look out let's say a week or two from now, okay, because we're using the 4-hour chart. So I want this to play out. I want to give it time to play out, because in the next couple of 4 hours, it can still come down this way, okay, and still continue to shoot up. So a week or two out, we can really analyze how this drawing plays out, giving it enough wiggle room to do what it wants and not necessarily follow this perfectly, but still confident a week or two from now, from July 11th, 559.90 is going to be higher, probably somewhere up in this range, okay? And this range, it looks like not that much, but it actually is, right? Because at the top of this screen here, that's 590. Okay, that is a $30 difference for one share. And imagine how much that moves if you're trading options, right? One options contract moves 100 shares, right? So that is 100 times 30. That's a lot of money. And what is 100 times 30? You guessed it, $3,000. This is a $3,000 gain right here if it predicts how we think it's going to predict. All right, so see you guys soon. We'll probably talk back again towards the end of July. Okay, this chart only goes up to July 14th. I'll need to zoom out a little bit to give it more room, but that is what I am thinking. All right, so I hope you liked this video. Make sure you check that out. Also, as you can see, I'm wearing my hoodie. I'm wearing my merch. Feel free to go on my website, luxhatsco.com. That is luxhatsco.com, to get yourself a nice hoodie. It also comes with the pants, and I have many different colors to choose from. If you look here in the corner, I also have a luggage set. Make sure you check that out. It's some good quality stuff, very durable, very fashionable, very luxurious, okay? And you got my handle right here, at sam.man. That is at sam.dat.man. You can follow me on all social media platforms. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like. Make sure you comment. And make sure you share this video. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.